A top-level Family First Life agent called my office and bears the inside information that new agents are not supposed to hear. The most explosive evidence that was revealed is how he confirmed what Senior VP whistleblower Greg Birch told me about bounty leads. Bounty leads is how trusted managers of Family First Life systemically replaces policies written by new agents. It has been revealed to me that these bounty leads are falling into the hands of trusted managers only. Roll the tape and let's hear Agent Rosales in his own words. Greg specifically told me about bounty leads, where these agents that left the system, you've got all that data in their CRM. And it could include Americo, because I know Americo's a little bit on the overpriced side.
Mm-hmm.
So you would have the data of a salesperson that's no longer there. And you know how sometimes it's the easiest sale. You just say to someone, hey, pay the same $100 a month. Instead of getting $200,000 insurance, you could get $400 if it's a more competitive company.
Yeah. You're saying that there was a lot of replacements going on.
People like yourself who were making a ton of money, I guess you were trusted in the system and they liked you and they knew you had a high close rate. What did you mention? You do $400,000 last year?
Yeah, that's how much I wrote.
It's not hard for you to offer someone twice as much coverage for the same price. Greg, he actually did a recording. He wanted me to interview him and tell me this. He called a bounty lead, and I heard about this, and I started convulsing, say, hey, this is highly illegal. It's like the IMO is wanting to churn business. He's helping churn. The upline IMO, who's also the lead seller, is causing replacements, which is churning. So when he told me this, I'm like, this is Wolf of Wall Street on steroids. If you replace policies and you do it on a regular basis, you lose your license and the insurance company will cancel your contract. But if the IMO is doing it, it's just as bad. And he told me that Americo didn't mind being replaced because they made so much money of being overpriced that if just a small percentage keeps it on year 2, 3, 4, 5, that's enough to pay the bills. That's what he told me.
I mean, with my experience, it's like, yeah, like I did deal with that. I mean, obviously, like I went through different lead vendors. Like I don't buy leads from Family First Life anymore. My problem right now, the reason why I'm looking at different options is because they speak about no contracts all the time and can be released, all that. And I wanted to move over to a different team. The CEO wouldn't allow it. I wanted to do a transfer. They're basically, holding me as if I'm hostage with the hierarchy I'm in.
Greg Birch says they're not allowing transfers.
No, at the time, I was just trying to transfer to a different hierarchy within FFL, and they wouldn't even allow that. It was just kind of like, wait, what? Like, if I want to move, I should be able to move for the reasons of what was going on. So I don't know. I mean, as of right now, I was just kind of looking at what else is out. That's why, I was kind of doing the search thing and saw the website. Initially looking for a better IMO.
Another issue. Did you ever experience this thing called bounty or integrity leads, which Greg talks about?
Bounty leads? I don't know what he's referring to exactly. I mean, I know that they have a CRM system that they use where they sell leads to agents for $11, for instance, and then they sell old aged leads. And what I've noticed before is that even though they say they only sell it to one FFL agent, but they end up reselling it to FFL agents over and over again.
What Greg specifically mentioned were agents that leave the business, which there's no shortage. Getting access to their CRM, their existing sales.
I think that they did pitch something like that. I think it was right before Greg had left. I think they did throw something as something called bounty leads. Yeah, like you have a chance to go basically replace their business. I think I do kind of remember that.
You do remember it. You realize that's highly.
I remember it pretty briefly. Yeah, I remember it really briefly because it was just kind of something that they had put out. And then I remember everything had happened where Greg Birch had left the company.
Greg messed up that whole bounty lead selling system?
He messed it up? Oh, I'm not sure. I'm not sure exactly what happened. I just know that he had bounced to Advantage One. I heard that he had got fired from Advantage One, but just from being in charge. I mean, to my knowledge, I think he's still with Advantage One. He's probably just not running the show.
On his LinkedIn, it doesn't say Advantage One anymore. You recall the bounty leads, they call it, where you get access to the book of business of a former agent.
I remember it being marketed at one time. It obviously came to a stop right away, probably because of Greg Birch.
Probably because you've got the IMO encouraging replace. Some of these policies are real easy to replace, especially the Americo, which has much higher commission levels. It costs more money to the client.
Yeah, absolutely. If you Americo and then you resell that business, you replace it.
Yeah. How much more coverage could a person have? Let's say a person's paying $100 a month for Americo and they're in perfect health. And you know about this a year later because you have access. Let's say someone bought a bounty lead. They sell the word Americo, 35-year-old male, non-smoker. He calls him up. The guy happens to be healthy. How much more coverage you get, let's say, for National Life Group or Mutual of Omaha?
Mutual of Omaha, I would say probably National Life Group a whole lot more. With Mutual of Omaha, probably, not too much crazy of a difference. It really just depends. I would say like their whole life product is probably what's overpriced.
I spoke to a gentleman. He said they were good on DUI if they were drunk, if they got caught for drunk driving.
It
So you,
depends. It really just depends.
it,
But I
it,
mean, my thing right now, my more situation like I was dealing with was more of like the uplines doing shady shit. Like one of my uplines basically like increased my agent's comp and forged my signature on a DocuSign paper to get the approval and like just shady shit that was going on. But I do know that their leads. I mean, yeah, I don't buy their CRM leads anymore. I'm trying to figure out different lead strategies right now.
so if someone's paying $100 a month, let's say for $250,000 of coverage, how much more could they get for National Life if they're in good health?
Tell you with let's see with Americo.
Let's say the mortgage term, the simple stuff, mortgage term.
Americo is expensive. Let me pull it up. Let me pull up. Americo is like regular term,
Right.
term 125.
The one that pays the
For
highest commission.
you said for a 35-year-old.
35-year-old male non-smoker, the preferred rate.
That's one thing about Americo. They don't have a preferred rate. They just throw everyone in standard.
Their best rate, whatever it is.
For 250,000 for 30 years, it'd be $86 a month.
So for that same $86 a month, what would they get if they were in good shape for another company?
I would say probably John Hancock would probably be John Hancock. Let's see, male, 1986. For yeah, like if we are gonna do the same thing with John Hancock for 30 years, it would be
But it's much easier to
71.
say, hey, get the same coverage, just get 50 or
Oh yeah,
$100,000.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, I like that's the thing is you want to put somebody with the best spot, but FFL wants you to write Americo and everything that they got worked out with them. Definitely a lot better to just be like, hey, you can get this for this much.
You could just say, hey,
That's probably.
pay the same $86 a month, and instead of 250,000, like almost everyone's going to sign.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
When they were selling those bounty leads, that was a pretty easy way to make money.
I never purchased the bounty lead. I just remember them market for a second. I don't remember anyone like as far as I knew had worked any of them, so I'm not really sure.
Greg said only the people that were trusted or experienced knew about this bounty. I guess because you were a big producer.
Yeah, I knew about it, but I was never sold one. I just remember the marketing coming out for it, but I don't remember them ever getting farther with how you order them. It was just something that they had put out as something they were going to start offering, which were bounty leads.
Even John Hancock is pretty much, it goes up there in the commission level. If you want to see what the companies that are the better deals, it would be the ones that are lower down on the commission level. So you could really just do apples and apples and say, hey, here's more coverage or the more insurance for the same money. The sad thing about it is if an IMO is encouraging replacements, inevitably some of the people are going to be older, let's say over 65, and that actually ends up being elder, which may because they're losing the incontestability clause and they're losing all the built up cash value. Obvious question would be, why don't you just put me at this lower price policy from day one? That's multiple years in jail in most states.
Wow.
When did they stop advertising the bounty lead?
I think it was right after Greg Birch had left,
When?
right around the same team. Yeah, that was last year.
12 months ago?
Yeah, April or May.
So there's no more bounty leads for FFL?
Not that I know of. Or they might just be funneling them into their CRM and reselling them to agents and we don't know about. I mean, that's something that happens more common than everything is like I bought a lead and I have it in my CRM and next week they just sold it to another agent that works in my office, but they claim that they sell it to one FFL agent.
So how do people stick around this system for an extended period of time if this type of stuff everyone eventually figures it out?
For me, like I just started working with different vendors outside of FFL, like not choosing to not buy from their CRM anymore. So I just completely work with private vendors and go through different ones and, with whatever ones work, stick with, whatever ones don't, and move on.
Do you input data in the FFL CRM or you know not to? Greg actually said if you input your mom's name in the FFL CRM, eventually another agent is going to call your mom. When you buy leads from a third party, do you input that into the FFL CRM?
Oh, no. The only leads that go through the CRM with Family First Life for me are just the ones that I would buy off of their platform. I never would input leads from other places to their platform. No.
You realize that would be silly because you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, absolutely. They'd probably, of course, get a hold of your whole business and sell it to someone else to go run those leads or whatever. So yeah, absolutely not. I don't do that.
Are you afraid once you leave FFL, they're going to grab your whole book of business and start replacing stuff?
For me right now, dude, I've gotten to the point with them to where it's just, I'm trying to figure out where else I could plant my flag. As far as them trying to resell my book of business, they're obviously a little shady. So if they do that, I'm going to have to, if there's a way that I could actually know what's going on, I wouldn't be opposed to bringing in a lawyer.
Since they got their cease and desist, and Greg Birch, I heard, was doing a lot of noise. He was their big producer for the entire company, especially that cease and desist where they were telling the whole world we're going to teach you how to make $250,000, average income being $111,000. That had to be an incredible recruiting platform. And suddenly that ends. Do you notice less people are coming in to FFL?
I would say
Know the New York Life and the National Life Group and the Mass Mutual type people, they're working on less comp because these are more competitive products.
you were also stating earlier, like if you're taking a comp hit, it's probably because you're selling better products to the client.
Americo, I've seen the comp grade. Without the bonuses, it's 185. There's no company in the industry that's I've seen even close.
185?
Well, that's what the upline IMO gets, 185.
Oh shoot.
So that
Is
probably
that a standard contract with
that
IMOs?
any IMO that shows a lot of production could get that. I suppose FFL that's even super bowling it may even be higher. At least that's what I saw.
Got it. This platform, I mean, you said there's a lot of agents that are using your website templates and stuff. This pulls in a lot of leads.
I'm on that 6 day per week video conference call. I explain how to move up the search engine. And I also will explain what you should know intuitively, that you should be doing everything you can to come across as a professional person, which includes a website.
You can use your platform to go get people to get accounts.
That's the traditional way to sell insurance, is to come across as a professional person. The traditional way to
No, I get it.
sell insurance is not to input your credit card into a CRM and buy data.
Your websites, the website things that you have going on, you said it's $12 a month to not have ads on there?
If you click it a couple of times, ads pop up. To get rid of it, it's $12 a month. You're more than welcome to speak to your upline or IMO or insurance company, and they really should pay for it for you. What we're trying to do is get you guys to become our sales force to speak to the various IMOs out in various insurance companies.
And they all pay $12 a month.
Right. So if you've got a team and you say, hey, I'm giving all my people a website, your people not only will be more productive.
Oh, got it. And then to get them set up on the website, they would have to go online and do the same thing, or there'd be a way that there's like a manager portal.
If you give a list of 100 people that want web,
But it's $12 a month per person if they want no ads on their thing.
that is correct. Look at it to your heart's desire. You click that button all you want, but it's severely underpriced. Quote engines for the various
Okay.
insurances.
And it's only built for insurance.
It can be used for any business. If someone's a plumber, you get rid of the quote engines for insurance very quickly. You rewrite the content, the video at the top or the pictures at the top, you change it to a plumber. What I would suggest to anyone, you take a video of yourself, throw it at the top, and that's the most impressive thing you could do. The same would work for a plumber. You tell the plumber, stand in front of your van, hold your toolbox, and take a 15-second video. And that's the best video you could take. If you do that, you're the king. Whatever we could do, I'm here for you. So you're still with FFL, I take it, right?
Yeah.
So you're trying to move those?
I'm just trying to see what else is out there. Just keeping options open. Well, supposedly Greg left because he was pissed about the telesales system that he wasn't able to train on there, something like that. But I mean, I think he left for multiple reasons.
Once you know what you're doing in this business, you've probably figured out that selling these overpriced policies to poor people is probably not the best way to go.
I don't use certain carriers if there's something way cheaper on the market. I'll
Right.
always go with whatever's cheapest. I just sell a lot of final expense. I sell a lot of like final expense. So like I know a lot of other people do a lot of like term and mortgage protection. I do a lot of final expense. So for the most part, Transamerica's whole life, I'll usually just rate their products because they are the cheapest as far as who I'm contracted. I'm not really familiar with how many other contracts I could get out there. I've only had about 7.
Just the fact that you saw that bounty leads advertised is huge. That's major, major bad stuff.
Tell you what, I do got like a lot of old threads. So if I find something with the bounty leads on it, then what I'll do is maybe shoot it to you.
Okay, did you sign up for the website yet? Did you click create website?
Yeah, I'll finish it right now when I get off the phone with you.
We'll speak again, but use the website. The website will always be there for you. And if you want to use it for your downline,